bastardize everything I'm saying and then irritate all these political folks, it's certainly not helping her case. I mean, what she's doing here is not helping or even hurting anybody, because she's only mentioning a couple of political candidates here. Right? So she gives Maxime Bernier a lot of free press. Even though she's trying to insult the man, she's giving him a lot of free press. And then right off the bat, in the third paragraph, we've got freedomreport.ca. So that's free press for us. I don't understand the thought process. Honestly, the thought process behind writing something like this and then giving this much free press to not just us, but to Maxime Bernier and to Michael Chong. If she's going to make the effort to call these political folks and then report on the fact that she's calling these political folks, and then they're saying really mature stuff to her, you know, like this guy Huppe, Maxime Huppe, he's just shooting right back. He's telling her the truth. He's telling her this is not a big deal. She's made a big deal out of no deal whatsoever. And Maxime's staff are telling her this is no big deal. But she's writing it like she's disappointed that these people see it as no big deal. And honestly speaking, I don't think she cares. This is not a reporter who has any conviction. You know what I mean? She has no convictions whatsoever on this. If you're going to be this kind of a writer, there needs to be a purpose to the story. You know, and even though I just ranted and raved about this for half an hour, I'm not angry about this article at all.
Just commenting.
I'm commenting on the fact that I'm trying to understand where Joan Bryden, you say her last name. I'm trying to get the thought process. She calls me on the weekend. We have two conversations at two different times of the day. The conversation it's amusing. There was a little bit of laughter that went back and forth, a bit of jovial jabs at each other back and forth. But yeah, what she's written here is not quite opposite what we talked about. That's the wrong way to word that. But it's almost like it's nothing that we talked about. Because the point, I was actually agreeing with her about the fact that modern journalism is not what it used to be. I was agreeing with her that anybody can be a journalist. But I was not saying that that's a bad thing, right? I was trying to explain.
So you agree that it's happening? You just have to...
Well, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree it's happening. And I'm agreeing it's necessary. I told her, she didn't agree with me on this. I told her it was necessary. But I was trying to get the point across. I agree. Anyone can be a journalist. And the fact that I did an interview with Maxime Bernier before we, as an entity, were even known. Really, who knew about the Mississauga Gazette aside from people in Mississauga?
I didn't even. I went to school here for years.
You know, and the funny part of it is, you know, you are directly or indirectly related to the high school that triggered this whole thing at the very beginning. And you didn't even know about the Mississauga Gazette.
That was part of the school board. That was
well, no, I understand what you're saying.
It was my school directly.
Well, no, it was.
Was it?
Yes, it was. But the point of it is, even though all the issues started there, you, as a Mississauga resident, did not even know about this newspaper. So we had to settle for, 1,000 readers a day, sometimes 500, and on some days 3,000. It just depended on what was being covered that day. And I explained that to her, that we didn't have her type of audience, and we weren't looking to get an audience doing something stupid. We were looking to get an audience telling the truth. I thought that, hey, what if we told the truth exactly as it happens instead of trying to embellish it? That's what I explained to her. And I don't remember what comment she made, because I was, at the time, driving and my son was asking me for Shamrock Shakes. Yeah. So I got a little sidetracked on the conversation, but what she's done here is she's taken a casual conversation between two journalists. She's calling me a journalist, right? Well, no, but she's doing it in quotes to try and insult me. We have a casual conversation about the fact that there is no governing body for journalism, and I said that that is a good thing.
Has there ever been a governing body?
No, there's no governing body. I can't.
Even back in the day when
No.
like people doing journalism was really a thing. Was there really a governing? I mean, there were newspapers, I guess.
Well, there's always been newspapers, but
But, like-
you know, the thing is though, newspapers in the 70s and 80s, they held themselves to a higher standard.
Yeah,
They
were a
did.
bigger deal back then.
Well, it was a big deal. There was no internet back then.
There was no
Yeah.
way of getting.
No, I remember clearly back then to get to get a photograph
Was it
sent to me from Niagara Falls. I would phone a friend in Oakville and have my modem talk to his modem. He would in turn be connected to a friend of his in Burlington, and then Hamilton, and then Stony Creek, and then all the way around Lake Ontario. So the guy said, "I got a photo you have to see." So he would begin sending the photograph to me, which was, you know, that big. It was a 320 pixel wide image. He would start sending it to me at 11 o'clock at night, and I would have it to look at it at 7 o'clock in the morning, possibly. That's how long photos would take. So they held themselves to a higher standard because there was no real way to be scrutinized or to make mistakes that you could correct the next day. If you make a mistake in an article now, you just correct it on your website and then resubmit the tweet.
You couldn't reprint. Well, you could reprint, but it was.
Well, you could reprint, but if you reprint it as a Toronto Star or Toronto Sun,
It'd be embarrassing.
it'd be embarrassing. It would be a retraction. All right. So if there was a governing body back then, I've never heard about them, and I don't think it would have been necessary back then anyway, because the higher standard that everybody held themselves to was practiced by default. And now I've got this ridiculous article. Yeah, this is stupid. This really is a childish article. I've got this ridiculous article here that's being written to tell the world that left-wing Toronto Red Star, like the Rebel called them, and well, actually, Mississauga News is not too bad. They've not been left-wing yet. They actually are pretty neutral. But CBC, somehow CBC and Toronto Star are real news, and they're not real news. I mean, have you met that idiot Royce and James?
Never heard of it.
No, he's well, anyway, he's a racist jerk. He's a complete idiot. He's an awful writer, returns no emails, returns no phone calls. He's in it for himself. He writes diatribes about white people because he can, and because the left is saying that white people are bad. That's just the whole mentality of white man bad. You know, unfortunately, you're not white, but you look white.
Yeah.
So you're going to go through life as a non-white white guy experiencing all this left-wing crap unless we can swing everything back. But getting back to my point is this conversation was supposed to just be her and myself talking about the lack of governing body and anybody can be a journalist because they declare themselves such.
It had nothing to do with race or the bigger issues. And all
Forget race. You know what? This race thing, this is her.
Yeah.
This whole color thing is completely out of...
It'd be like if we had a conversation about sports and somehow they made it about terrorism.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He takes a slap shot that's 104 kilometers an hour. That's terrorism. He's terrorizing those goalies. That's all. Yeah, you're right. It's stupid. But
Out of nowhere.
no. But all I'm saying, and unfortunately John's not here yet. So, but I want him to hear what I'm saying here. All I'm saying is, this was supposed to be about the fact that anybody could be a journalist, and she's turned this thing into Ikra Khalid, M103, racism, Black Lives Matter. Why bring all this stuff
I
into?
think he assumes that's all people think of.
It's a chick. Her name, yeah, Joan.
Sorry.
Joan
I think
Bryden.
that's all that she assumes people think of when they think of you. Because I guess you talk about that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
That's the assumption.
No, that is no. You're not wrong to assume that. I just wanted to point out to you that I'm making videos, reading this article out to people, making commentary on it, telling what I did or did not say. Mostly, it is what I've said out of context. But to be told that this was going to be an article about the lack of a governing body, and that's all we talked about. For her to ask me about Maxime Bernier, an interview that was really good, and it was a Gazette interview. It wasn't a Freedom Report interview. Yeah, I told her that. I said, when Maxime called me, he called me out of the blue. He told me he was going to call me on a Friday. He called me 2 days earlier, which was great. So I got Maxime's time for an hour 2 days earlier. And I did tell her in our conversation that the guy's polite. He's funny. You know, his accent is really cool. It was a good interview. There was nothing wrong with the fact that they did not read into the Mississauga Gazette. She wants to make it seem like it's a horrible thing that the campaign managers and the media people don't read the 10,000 blog entries that are out there by the 1,000 people looking for interviews. Who's got time for that? Think about that. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because this is not journalism. This is a commentary from a left-winger posing as journalism. It's being done through the Canadian press. So she makes her money by, I guess what they do is they charge. I don't know exactly how they do it, but what I assume is that a lot of media outlets like City TV and iPolitics.com and a few of the others just decide, okay, we're gonna grab her article, and they pay a monthly fee for the privilege of grabbing stuff like this and sticking it on their websites or sticking it on TV or maybe in the newspapers. So this is just her whoring herself out. And I don't blame her for that, because modern journalism is kind of like that. No one's got time to write all this stuff. And guys like iPolitic and City TV News, they're looking for clickbait, and that's what this is. This is just clickbait. You know, I could talk about this all day. I could. It's stupid. I want you to understand that this is what journalism has become. And if anyone's going to ask you what I'm up to is making sure that crap like this gets exposed for the crap that it is. Because this is crap. This is not news. Nothing here is news. Right? Like Johnston said something.
It's basically a Wikipedia article.
It's not even a Wikipedia. Wikipedia would not allow something this bad to be on their site. Yeah? This is... You know what this is? This is some feminist nut job. This is how I picture this in my head, all right? This is some chick who's 18 years old, who hates men, believes all men are rapists because she's drunk the Kool-Aid, and she has to get one final assignment done for her feminist teacher, and she started writing this at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was due after lunch at 1:30. That's what this is. So it's just a whole bunch of, oh, I called this guy, and this is what he said. And, you know, this other person, Johnston, is bad, and he writes screed, and he swears, and... It sounds like she's snitching on me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it sound like that? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to call her. I'll call her right now.
Is that what you're gonna do next?
Yeah. Oh, no. What I'll do...
It's been recorded.
Oh.
Yeah,
You guys put the camera on for this?
You said
Hey, don't tell me. Hey, you know what? That's okay. I don't care. It's fine. You guys want to do whatever. Let's call her. All right. Well, it'll be. You know what? You're right, but it does. Yeah. Go do what you got. No, go. I'll call her now and see what we can get. Sorry, I didn't know the camera was on. You guys had the recorder on too. Thanks. Would have been funnier if I was in the bathroom.
You have reached Joan Bryden. Please leave your message after the tone. After leaving a message, you can hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey, Joan. Kevin J. Johnston here, freedomreport.ca. I just read the article. First off, I'm not angry about it. I just had a couple of quick questions on this is nothing that we discussed. But, hey, give me a call. 289-997-6545. Thanks. Take care. Well, I guess I will just continue ranting and raving. You've heard me talking to my boys here. And I don't really think that Joan Bryden requires any more free press than she's already going to get. What I will do, though, is if you want to call Joan, here are my handwritten notes. Okay, this is my chicken scratch. This one here, top, this one. is her office address. This one is her other office address. 613-513-6632 or 613-789-6458. freedomreport.ca.